Hey guys, what's up? It's Biscuit Boo Horror Reviews here with a really quick little review. I kind of felt like I needed to review something because I hadn't really uploaded anything in about a week, so I was just like, so I figured I'd throw on some random awful looking 80s slasher film that I could find on YouTube, and yeah, that's what I did, and that's what I'm reviewing. Tonight's movie is a 1982 slasher film titled Death Screams. This movie is about a group of teenagers being picked off one by one at their local state fair by some psychopath. It's a classic setup, and I absolutely love slasher films that set themselves in amusement parks or state fairs, carnivals. Obviously, Malatesta's Carnival of Blood, the film Carnival of Blood from '72, Funhouse Massacre, Dark Ride. I don't know, I can't think of anything else. But either way, I love those kinds of slasher films that have that setting. So, how's this one? Well, the acting is worthless, and the characters are flat. The writing is also not good at all. And to emphasize that, the guy who wrote this movie only wrote one other thing in his entire career, and that was a late 70s variety show starring Dolly Parton. I think that says something. So, is there anything to make this movie stand out from the slew of slashers from the early 80s? Yes, but it's not a good thing to make it stand out. It's very poorly lit in the night scenes, and a lot of the kills in the movie tend to happen towards the last, 30 to 40 minutes, and pretty much that entire segment of the film is completely dark, and you cannot see a single thing because of how poorly lit the scenes are. To top it off, the only version I could find was a old VHS rip, so that just makes it look even worse as far as picture quality goes. So, goddamn. So the fair that they go to in this movie is really small. It looks like it might be in a town that's populated by 400, 500 people at most. And that's interesting. That makes the movie, at least, that makes the setting seem a little more interesting, because you can tell it was shot on a very low budget, because I don't think anybody else but a small town you probably grew up in would be willing to let you shoot your violent slasher film at their state fair. And that, shows that this movie's really fucking cheap. The guy who directed this movie didn't go on to do much either, just like the writer. And yeah, we're looking at nothing that good here. The film is okay as far as the cinematography goes. Like I said, the lighting is awful, but the camera work is okay. The music is fine, I guess. It's nothing really that unique or interesting. As far as gore and gore effects go, there are a couple of memorable moments, but nothing too amazing. And the gore isn't anything special. Let's just say that. It's not like they brought Tom Savini on board for this. Other than that, the pacing for the movie is very okay. The teenagers' antics and stuff is kind of funny and entertaining at times. It can be, but it's hard to really care when this movie has this very slow pace without properly trying to build an atmosphere. Not much else is going on for the first pretty much hour of this entire movie. Not much happens. It's just these teenagers talking over each other, which when they're talking over each other and it's about dialogue you don't give a shit about, it makes it even more annoying than it would be if it was dialogue you cared about. I got bored watching this movie quite a bit. I dozed off a few times. And like I said, the gore isn't anything super special or explicit. It doesn't really start to show until the movie is about half over. And at that point, I was dozing off every few minutes watching this movie. On the gore meter from 1 to 10, 1 being something like Nosferatu, 10 being something like Peter Jackson's Brain Dead, Death Screams, it sits at like a 2, 2.5. There's a few moments of kind of explicit stuff, but other than that, it's pretty tame by today's standards. This is honestly one of those bad movies that isn't like the like Evil Bong 6 for me, where I watched Evil Bong 6 and I was legitimately mad that I had watched that movie. It's not like that. It's more like when I watch a movie that is just so mediocre and just bad, and it's not even so bad it's good, and it's not even so bad in a way that I can at least kind of appreciate it, you know, like I can with Andy Milligan films or even Manos: The Hands of Fate. This is a movie that is just very mediocre and like very middle of the road, to the point that it's just boring in every aspect, and it has nothing unique it has nothing unique going on. It has nothing really going for it. Honestly, among the slasher films I've seen, which is a lot, this ranks among some of the most forgettable, ranking up there with the 70s movie Blood Shack and the 80s flick Clown House. It ranks with those movies as like immensely forgettable, just bad fucking movies. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and give this one like a 1 out of 5. This is my first negative review in a while. Surprisingly, you know, I'm actually surprised that I've watched a movie that I can actually, you know, I'm just kind of surprised that this movie wasn't at least somewhat fun, because I can find the fun in fucking Manos: The Hands of Fate, but I can't find it in Death Screams. I don't know. Anyway, guys, this is Biscuit Boo Horror Reviews, signing off. Peace.